Hello, friends. It's your host, Kat, and
Amy.
here for another episode of Talk on the Wild Side. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of the five love languages: gifts, physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, and quality time. Understand speaking your partner's love language can transform your relationship, opening doors to a deeper connection and changing your perspective on love and communication. We'll explore how to discover your own love language, how to identify your spouse's, and how these tools can lead to a stronger, healthier relationship. Let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
Welcome, everybody, to a new week of Talk on the Wild Side with your hosts, Kat and
Amy. We are so glad that you guys are back or here. Welcome.
yes, welcome. Hopefully, you'll get what you need and, leave the rest. Today we are talking about the love languages and how they can deepen your relationship, not only with your spouses or with yourself, but also with your friends and your children.
Everyone wants to be loved.
So my first question on the love languages, and I just listened to this book in depth over the past 2 days, so it's kind of really fresh on my brain. But Amy, what love languages do you think personally resonate with you the most, and how understanding it changed your relationships?
So I didn't know much about love languages. It was something I actually heard about while going to church. And I thought that was an interesting way to do, I guess, like a self-examination. And it makes sense to me because we are all wired a certain way. And the way that maybe I am loved is not necessarily the way that you or somebody else is feeling loved or loves others. And so after digging into this, I have multiple, and I heard that it's common for some people to have more than one, but we typically all have one main.
Yeah, they're primary.
Yeah, the primary. And so after looking over them, I'm going to say my love language primarily would be acts of service. So, yeah, that's how I feel like I love others, but I've learned that that's not always how they are loved. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And was there a secondary part to that question, or was that it?
No. Is that the acts of service? Is that what you like to perform, or is that what that shows you how you're loved? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's how I love others.
That's how you love others.
Yeah. So I guess that's my love language, right? To give, because to receive, I don't think acts of service is probably the way that I would like to receive being loved on, if that's kind of weird.
No, I'm trying to think about it in my head. So they do say that that's one way of finding your love language is, like, if you're trying to find someone's love language, is watch what they do, and that usually they're acting on how they would love to be treated. So, like, if you are an act of service, maybe you do feel loved when someone does an act of service for you. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying that if I do an act of service for you, it means I love you. So if I know you need help, like, no, it is confusing, because that's what I wonder if most people feel loved in the way that they give love, but I do not.
You do not.
Yes. So it's kind of weird,
So
right?
what is your love language?
To receive?
To receive?
In receiving love? Is that what you're saying?
To receive love. Like, if someone was like, if Eric was to, like, try to figure out your love language to please you, to make you happy, to fill up your love tank, what would that be?
It might actually be acts of service.
Acts of service? Really?
Well, so, okay. I don't mind getting gifts, but I don't want him, and this sounds terrible, like, I don't want him to go and just buy me something. I want him to go and actually pick me flowers out of a field.
Oh.
So I want him to drive to the side of the road I want him to see flowers and to think of me and go pick those flowers. Like that. And I know I was trying to like explain this to somebody else, but it's like thoughtful things that are put in, like they don't really cost anything. When it comes to acts of service, if somebody's going to do my nails or my hair or something like that, I guess that's a service that I'm paying for. And maybe it's not kind of like the same thing, because that typically when I pay for it, I feel let down because the result's not usually what I have anticipated. So I don't know. It's kind of weird for me. And maybe I'm really hard to love, because you have to kind of figure out, like, if you want to go and wash my car for me, and that is awesome. Like, I'm like, yes, come and get my car, fill it up with gas. And I don't mind pumping my own gas, but it's just the thought that you were like, open a door for me. I like when I see elderly people or older people or even young people. I usually don't see it much, but when a guy opens a car door for a woman.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I'm like, I should have been born like a while back when I could have experienced that, And I mean, sometimes guys will open doors for, you still, but I'm just saying, like, and I'm not saying I want Eric to always open the door for me, but I just think that when I see things like that, I don't know.
An act of love.
It is. It's an act of love. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with act of service.
Acts of service?
Acts of service, yes.
In all honesty, it's not that you're hard to love or difficult to love. Learning the love languages, even for yourself, it can be so complicated to figure out which one is your primary. If you truly think about it, like, I feel like all the love languages would work together in a happy marriage, or in a marriage anyways, as long as it's going back and forth and it's done with love. But see.
So we are going to flip it around now and let you answer the question.
Okay. So the first part of the question was, what love language do you think you personally resonate with? So for me, if I love you and I love somebody and I want to show you that I love you, I am definitely going to do acts of service for sure, but also quality time. I'm going to give you my ear. I'm going to give you my eyes. I'm going to give you my complete focus. To me, that is very important. And I know how important it is for people to be seen. Your husband, your friends, your children, people that you come encounter with, on a date, like at the grocery store. I try to do my best, and I love words of affirmation, because who doesn't feel powerful or like they can move mountains with positive words directed at them? Wow, you're doing such a great job. Wow, you look good today. Wow, you've got this, and it kind of makes you feel superhuman, and you're like, what, I do got this, So I like all three of those is what I like to do for people that I love. I love touching. Touch is another one for me. I know that a lot of people think that touch is sex, but I feel like touch is, you pour the cup of coffee, you touch the back of his neck, walk by, grab his butt, stuff like that. Just show a connection. A hug, yes, the hugs are the best.
A dance in the kitchen.
Dance in the kitchen, yes. I love, all of that. That's
Brush
touch.
my hair, please. Yes, and thank you.
Yes, see, so that's so important. And what's the other one? Gift is important too, but I'm not talking about like,
you're supposed to be talking about your primary one, and you haven't even hit on it. You just said acts of service, and then you went straight to the second. Well, I'm thinking the second one was your primary.
What was the second one?
I don't know,
because I just went rambling on. So I think it's not acts of service. Acts of service is a pleasure.
It sounded like it was affirmations.
I think it was quality time.
Oh yeah, it was quality time.
Because that I discovered yesterday that quality time is, for me, if I want to feel loved and seen, I feel quality time is important to me.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is I feel like it's because when it was me and my mother, when it was just me and her, when when her boyfriend wasn't in the picture. It was just me and her, and we spent so much quality time together, and that was the only time I ever felt loved. So whether we go for ice creams or long bike rides or thrift store shopping, I mean, I felt loved and seen by her. So the love language or the quality time for me is the most important. And what I've discovered about quality time is not just being there and taking them too. It's like being there, and even though you really don't feel like it, kind of like act like you enjoy it being there, and kind of not being grumpy about it,
Yeah.
because that's showing love, that you're, being interested in what the other person, is doing.
That one might be last on my list.
Yeah. Is it too needy?
I think it's just where I grew up being very isolated, like disconnected, to where I had such a wall up to where it's like I don't need anyone kind of thing. But I love to give my time. But also that for me comes into acts of service. Like if I'm serving you, I feel like that's my time is also, if I'm giving my time, to me, that's an act of service too. So I don't necessarily know that it would be considered quality time, but honestly, I don't really give my time to people much unless it's going to fall under quality time. Does that make sense? I just don't like to fill space with things that aren't quality. Like I just don't want to hang out and waste my time anymore. We got a hip in the dirt, a knee in the dirt. We're somewhere between a hip and a knee in the dirt,
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that when I do spend that time with people, that it is quality time.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
You definitely have to be very choosy with who you spend your quality time
for sure.
with.
Yeah. Because there's too many people that do want it. So why would you give that gift away?
Yeah.
Yes,
so. It's reserved for the privileged. Awesome. Let's go on to the next. Have you ever misinterpreted someone else's love language, and how did you work through it to connect better?
Wow. Yeah. My husband's for probably we've been married for 31 years. So probably for the past 25 years, I didn't know his love language. I didn't even know my own love language. So I feel like he's not here, so I can't really say what his is. But if I had to guess, I would say it's probably the physical touch one. And then I would guess affirmations would probably be hand in hand on his top two. And I thought it was acts of service because that's what mine was to give.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would be out mowing the yard, and then I would come in and I'm expecting him to be so excited that I did, such a great job. I mow the yard better than most people pay. I could be a professional grass cutter, but that's my OCD sets in, and it's also my tranquil. I love mowing. I escape into the sun is shining. I just love mowing. And so for me, mowing is almost like therapy, and I get all the lines, and I take pride in that. And so when I go in, I'm come out and I'm like, hey, look at this. And it's yeah.
Yeah, not impressed.
Right. And then when I'm out weed eating,
you're like, I need a gold star for that.
Yes. But if I'm out weed eating and the line runs out, I have learned how to put the line back on the weed eater myself. But I will get so frustrated if I'm out there with the chainsaw and the chains coming off. I'm this person that's out there trying to cut down trees and stuff. But I'll be out in the yard getting so mad at him. And he's in here inside and he doesn't even know that I'm mad at him. But instead of me asking him to come and help me, it's like I'm doing it for him, but I'm actually doing it for me, and he doesn't even know I'm out here having a breakdown, over the chain coming off the chainsaw. And it's just very funny. I just realized that last summer, and I'm just go and tell him, come and bring me a water, in an hour, because it is 100 degrees outside and I'm hot, or something. And I don't mind doing it, but I've realized like I have to do that for me. And then if I want to do something for him, I could probably, like rub his back, or I don't know if he wants me touching his feet, but like, I don't know, like what else I would have to ask him, like, what could I do for you? So yeah, I really try to do the words of affirmation with him, because even though he probably likes physical touch, that's not on my top tier of things. And I actually just said earlier that what the time was probably my last one, but honestly, the physical touch might be my last one. So it's really hard when his top ones are my last ones, and then it's almost vice versa. Like acts of service for him are probably down at the bottom, and it's on my top.
Yeah.
So we've kind of learned to balance and learn those things.
Speak each other's languages.
Yeah. And just not become frustrated within myself and my relationship because he's not receptive to the things in my mind, how it should look, because he's not me, and I can't expect him to feel or appreciate something that isn't important to him necessarily. So, that's been good for me to be able to release that.
Yeah.
And just come and ask for help when I need it, because that's a weakness too.
Yeah, that's hard. It's hard to ask for help when you think you could do it all yourself.
Yeah. So what does that look like for you and Anthony?
For me and Anthony, I used to think that Anthony's was acts of service. So like if the kids were bathed and the dinner was on the table and the house was clean, I would have a happy husband. And of course, touch as well. But I left out the most important one. Was words of affirmation. I just figured if he was just taken care of, and not just in the bedroom, but, just kind of like, closeness and hugging and touching, and then having the clean house and not having to stress, I really felt like I was making him happy, neglecting the fact that I was not even being a partner to him by just, and not knowing any more about him. But now that I've learned him, and we've done the test together, and we've read the book together, and he's touched, but I feel like he's more words of affirmation, because when I light it up for him, he smiles. And I've just been starting this just recently, and if you're listening, honey, I have to share this, so I'm sorry. But just his face lights up, and his cheeks get rosy, and this new light comes to his face, and it's just it fills my heart with warmth that I can see this and make this happen for him, that I'm just like, I'm ready to do more. But not try to overwhelm it. Like I'm like, ooh, I found this new thing to make him really shine and happy, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to overdo it, but I want to, but I don't want to. So I'm kind of like on the fence of that, but that's how I'm reconnecting with him. It was just a smooth transition. I still do the acts of service, and I still do that. Now for him and I just discovered that I really value personal quality time. So we're going to see how that looks like. That's going to be, that's next steps for us.
So like I shared that we had been married for 31 years. How long have you and Anthony been married?
Anthony and I have been married. It's going on 26 years this February.
And do you feel like since you discovered your love languages that has helped bring you guys closer together, like by understanding that?
We don't know, because we are brand new. Well, I'm brand new at this. Anthony understands his love language, and Anthony tries to understand mine, because he is a really good husband. He does a lot of acts of service for me and a lot of touch. And because he feels like he's helping me because he doesn't know. But now I think when I brought out the big guns and said, it's quality time, that means like maybe once a week we plan something and we go on a hiking together, or we go and sit at a coffee shop and people watch the people on the streets and have deep conversation. So these are the things that I discovered that I really truly value, and that I'm feel loved in. So Anthony said that he'd promised to, work
on that with you too. I love that.
Me. And I feel like once that happens, I really truly feel like we are best friends and really connected. And I really feel like there'll be no stopping us.
Oh yeah, you guys are definitely like the dynamic duo. I was just going to kind of bridge in on what you were saying. I love that you guys are working, like you said, to come together, because I know for probably maybe even some of our listeners, I feel like I've just been in a marriage to where it was almost one-sided. Like I was doing my own life and my husband was doing his own life, and there wasn't like that connection in between us. And so for me, I just think if we love someone enough to know how to love them, it really can make a difference in our relationship. So I would, if I like advise everybody, if you just want to know how to be loved or how to love your spouse, but honestly, even in my relationships with friends, I think it helps me as you and I are even connecting. I love that. I know that you're acts of service, or, like, so that I can, because I love to give gifts too. So I know how to love on you even better too. So I just think that anybody that's trying to improve or deepen a relationship with someone that they love or everyone that they love, you guys should check out the book. It's called The 5 Love Languages. And it's The Secret to Love That Lasts by Gary Chapman. And you guys can check that out on Amazon.
Yeah. Amy, every time I'm with you, my love tank is full. So I just want you to know that.
That is the sweetest thing. That is the sweetest thing.
I want to touch base with you on something you said. You said if you want to learn how to love your spouse, or, kind of touch base on
that. Is kind of a weird statement, isn't it?
No, but it's understanding. It's understanding. Okay, for me, I mean, I just saw Anthony as a partner, and I didn't really go into too much depth with it from there. We were a partner. We were going to go through life together. We are going to raise these kids, and, you do what I say, and kind of like, it's my show, my life. You're going to help. That's just how I thought. That was my mindset. Obviously, I do not think that way anymore. So what I'm saying is my children have taught me how to love. And how I mean by that is that when I see, like, for instance, if my son is dating a girl and she's not very nice, or, gives him a hard time, or vice versa, I feel that to me is a straight arrow to my heart. Like, how can anybody treat my sweet boy like that?
Yeah.
And so I try to take the motherly approach at looking at my husband from his mother's point of view.
Oh, that's good.
And when I do that, that softens my heart. It sees Anthony as him, as himself. And then you can't help but just love him. And that's what my kids have taught me. My kids have taught me so much just from watching them through the years. And that was one of them, was how to love someone. And that's it. That's all I got for that one.
And that's beautiful, because I think my kids taught me, I feel like I knew how to love. Like I just desired to have somebody to fully love and accept that love. And I found that within my kids. But I think when I said like how to learn to love my husband, was we just walked through the motions of doing life. And if I'm honest, our relationship began more out of lust instead of love, and it just, before we knew it, I was married at 17. We had our first kid at 18. We had another kid at 19 and a third one at 21. So I was in deep by 21, and I didn't even really have time to learn who he was, because I just got straight busy with babies,
Mm-hmm.
And at some point it was like, oh, he's an addict on top of it, so I don't even think he knows who he was. And so we're just like a hot mess. And then we just did Hot Mess Express for, like I said, 25 years. And so then at some point when we became empty nesters, and I know we will do a episode on empty nesters in the future, it was, we have to learn each other. Like, who are we? Who are you? Who am I? And so I've even been like self-discovering who I am, and then learning who he is. And I really love the fact that you said, that you've learned to see Anthony through the eyes of his mom. I didn't grow up with eyes of a mom to picture that with, but as a mother who has children, I can envision that for me. And we are all someone's child. And I'm the child of God. I was adopted into his kingdom. I'm a special child. But so through that, I need to start looking at my husband with a little bit more of eyes of love. And so I'm going to start working on that to see him in a more loving way. So thank you for sharing that today. I think that was really pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, do you got time for another question?
Well, I surely do.
And I got fun questions too, so maybe we'll make it to a fun question. I know you said something about your favorite song. I guess we'll save that for the end.
Oh, yes. I'm not even prepared. I don't know what it is.
Too many to pick from. All right. What advice would you give to someone that feels stuck because they can't figure out their partner's primary love language?
Maybe you could ask them. I feel like communication is a huge gap that I haven't had in my relationship. And just not even feeling that I can be who I am, because I didn't even know who he was, and just trying to hide behind the mask of keeping peace. And when the kids are gone, is he going to like who I am? Am I going to like who he is? And then it's like, you just have to, like, for me, I just had to remember, like, God placed this person in my life for a reason. And yes, we didn't base this marriage on a godly foundation. We kind of did our own thing. But within that, it's been enough love is still there to where I'm still just trying to think and hold on to, God brought us together for a purpose and a plan. And so I'm in the middle of still working through some things in my marriage, and it's been a difficult past year. I'm not going to lie about that. So it's kind of a hard question for me to really answer, because I'm still figuring things out after 31 years. But I'm not giving up. I will put every bit of energy I have into this until I can honestly say, I've done all that I can do. And, the rest, God, is up to you. That could be like a slogan. I've done all I can do. God, the rest is up to you.
I like it. I definitely have to be jotting down our sayings, because that's going to make for some awesome
T-shirts
and merchandise.
Oh, we got stuff. So yeah, I don't really know that I have a good answer for that one. Do you want to try to answer that one?
Yeah, I can try to answer it. So yes, when I met my husband and we got married and had children, we've only known each other for 3 months, and from 2 different countries, and doing life. 2 total strangers from 2 different worlds. So yes, I know that we have a purpose and a reason of why we met and stayed together for 25 years, and it's just about to get really good. But the question is, do I have advice for someone that feels stuck because they don't know how to figure out their partner's primary love language? Yes, yes, and yes, because I married my stranger husband.
Danger. Danger.
I married my American mail-ordered husband. Anyway, that's a thing. No, it's not. Anyway, so when we married, of course, we were infatuated with each other, and we were still in the first first years of our honeymoon stage. So, and we were just madly in love and we didn't want to be separated from each other. And so we decided, why don't we just have children and, throw kids in the mix. And so being like newly in love and being thrown right into parenthood and becoming married and just having this whole life, we didn't really have a chance or have reality sink in like, hey, I just married a total stranger. Because that's basically what happened. And so as the kids are growing older and stuff like that, we're realizing that we were strangers and the dating and stuff like that. But I have to relearn everything about this person that I'm in life with. And doing that is observing and watching. And that's easy for me because I like to watch. And so I would just say I would start with one love language for a week. That's what I would do, and just really use that love language and see how they respond. Just see if there's a change or a little bit of a step in their walk, or maybe an extra touch for you on your bottom, or an extra hug, just because you're making them feel seen and heard. And you'll know it's working because you'll see the change. And that's the only advice I have on that one.
Well, I don't know that I gave advice, so can I?
Oh, yes.
Can I give advice now? Because
Yes.
I said I don't think I'm equipped to, because I'm still going through it. Let me give a piece of advice, especially to people who are in a relationship thinking about getting married.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah. Get a relationship with God and make sure that God is in the center of both of your lives and that you're both equally chasing after him. Because if you find somebody that is searching after God and who loves Jesus, then they will also know how to love you.
That is absolutely correct.
So, yeah.
But then there's also some people that really want to love Jesus, but then they're still kind of stuck too,
Yeah. Well, don't rush into it.
Yeah.
Like, make sure that they're not doing it just to catch you like a fish and that's their bait. Like, make sure it's an authentic.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing too is, like, I think a lot of times for me, when I was younger and would look at, quote, Christians, I had them up into a tier of life to where they were like better than.
Oh.
And, if I saw them drinking or something, like, they weren't allowed to sin, because they were Christians,
Yeah.
And so now that I've matured and learned in my walk, they're sinners and we're all sinners,
Yes.
And so God loves us all the same. And I'm just saying, I would probably rather take my chances and go with someone who is at least chasing after Jesus than somebody that's not.
Absolutely. I agree.
It would just make the whole thing. I feel like probably at least you can say, hey, God, we started out here with you, and this is, people do step out of his will. We have free will. We have the choice to make decisions, and he allows us to do that. And so sometimes, when even one of us take our eyes or focus off of him, it can devastate and destroy relationships and marriages and things like that too. Yeah, it's just because we live in a sinful world.
We do.
But putting God first, in my opinion, is something huge. And I wish I would have discovered a life with him so much sooner than I did. Yeah. So.
I know. I was always hesitant, For some reason, I knew the Lord's Prayer when I was 5 years old. And I recited it every night before I'd go to bed. And I don't know why. And I have it in my office on a plaque. But that's got me through some stuff. And I didn't even know what I was believing in because no one told me. But I held on to that prayer, and I say that prayer every night before I go to bed.
Love it.
I love the Lord's Prayer. Okay, let's go on. You want a fun question? I don't know how fun these are.
Sure. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what Kat thinks is fun.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. What is the most creative, unexpected way someone has shown you love in your primary love language?
Oh, so what is an act of service that's been huge?
Yes.
Wow, that's really
An
putting me on the
unexpected one.
spot.
I know, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
An unexpected one. Do you already know your answer to yours
I
since you
don't.
came up
I
with the
think
question?
that was like, I was just like, I gotta see. No, I wrote them and I think about them. I was like, I'm gonna come back and just
Okay,
answer
so
this.
I don't necessarily know an act of service that it was something that somebody did, but something does stand out to me that just happened this year. And I don't know if it was like the biggest on a like that costs the most or, however that looks. But my son is engaged, and him and my future daughter-in-law, the daughter-in-law. I think it's so it sounds so hard, so I try to call my bonus kids my in-loves. So anyway, she was listening to me, and I was just sharing to her like that I love my hair being brushed because a lot of my abuse as a child was done through my hair, like pulling of my hair and things like that, and so getting my hair brushed and getting hit in the head with the hairbrush or, having my hair pulled and things like that. I've always had like this disconnect type thing with my hair. And so I remember one time my birth mother had come in to town and I was maybe around 11 and she sat and brushed my hair. And it was the first time that I ever really felt loved by her through an act of service. And, Priscilla and Devin were listening to me sharing a story one time. And so for my birthday this past year, they bought me a scalp massage. And the lady there washes your hair and brushes it for an hour. So they got me, and it was the most amazing thing ever. So they got me this certificate, and I was like, she heard me and she found a way to love on me through a way that she knew that I desired to be loved on. And that meant so much to me. It was just really beautiful that she did that.
We're going to need a box of tissues for this show because it is just too emotional for me. I'm like over here like choking down tears.
I mean, you have to go though, because they have this sink of hot water that just like sprays on your head, and she like rubs your hair and massages it, and she gets on your neck and your collarbone. And I mean, she like takes this comb and just brushes it, and then they'll put shampoo and conditioner, and then she'll comb it again. And it was just the best hour. I loved every second of that hour. So that was amazing.
Oh, Amy, I love your answer.
All right. What about you?
I'll choose a different question.
Okay. And you can come back to it if you think of it.
You want to ask me one of these? I'll let you ask me one of those, and then I can just focus on the question.
Sure. What is a small everyday way to show love using one of the love languages?
Oh, I just started doing this with my son. I just nonchalantly every morning after I get home from the gym, I just go ahead and I just send him a good morning text. Hey, handsome. Hope you're having a great morning. Just wanted to let you know that I baked some hot biscuits and some sausage. It's cold outside. Love for you to come and grab one. And I've been doing that, and he's been coming down. So he comes down and sees me every morning and talks to me. I'm fixing to
come start seeing you every morning. You have biscuits and sausage ready?
Well, not only does it's so weird how it works because it's like I get to see my son. I get to feed him. That makes me happy. It fills me with joy. It fills me with so much joy. Like I'm just like, I feel like I'm floating through the kitchen. Like it's a privilege. And the fact that, I feel like it might be good for him. It's a warm meal. He's a single guy. He lives and my husband benefits from it too. He gets to see his son in the morning, gets to have a nice warm breakfast, hot coffee, and I want to be that person in my family that's like, mom's got fresh bread baking, coffee's going, let's go down and have breakfast with her, even when I'm like 70 or 80 years old. So I'm trying to change the family dynamics of everything. So acts of service for my family, yes.
So in my next life, when I'm reincarnated, I'm going to be Noah.
You're going to be Noah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just so lucky. I feel like
You can call me Noelle.
I just feel like, I mean, I wasted so many times in survival mode that I missed a big chunk of my kids' lives. I just did the things that were supposed to be right. And I woke up and I was like, these are my people to love. And to give them a shot of what it's like to be loved, and just like anything they want. They want an ear to listen to, a shoulder to cry on. They want some food. They want someone to work out with at the gym, I want to be that person.
I want to be that person too. My kids are going to be mad if they hear this because
I can't help it. I can't even stop myself anymore because
I'm
it's
like,
just
guys, I have some instant oatmeal. Come and get it.
Hey, the oatmeal's good. The oatmeal's good. I love it.
I love that. And just the description of you floating in the kitchen, that is just
That's
precious.
how it makes me feel.
I love that. That is precious. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I love Joyce Meyer. She is incredible. And if you haven't checked her out, you should listen to some of her podcasts. She was molested by her father, and her mother was aware of it.
Okay.
So she has a very powerful story too. And she says, like, start every day preparing or thinking how you can intentionally be kind to someone. And so I have tried to do that every day. Like, what can I do to be kind to somebody? And so for me, it's different. There's not any one certain thing. But for me, every day, I try to give a smile to everyone that I can. Anyone that I see, I try to smile at them. So sometimes I know we're going through things. Everybody is going through something, and our masks are usually on pretty tight. And so I have been somebody that has smiled through pain, and I just want to offer somebody a smile because even if they're not feeling good or they're not smiling, that smile might hopefully just light something within them and let them know, like, hey, they smiled at me, and
Yeah, I was seen. You're making them feel seen.
Yeah, and seen, yeah.
Yeah, and that will lift a person like you would not even believe. I mean,
And it's free.
It's free, but so many people don't do it.
Yes.
It's one of the most easiest, kindest things you can do.
Well, so, the Lord is our joy. We get our joy from the Lord. But so many people are walking around and they're not showing any kind of joy. And how can we lead other people to a relationship with Christ if we don't possess that joy that He gives us? And so for me, it's not a gift that I just want to keep to myself. I want to share that with everybody. And to me, the easiest way to do that is just by a smile. So, okay.
I think Ross goes caffeine.
Yeah, so Ross Geller is my dog over here. He just licked the bottom of my cup and Kat's, which actually had like a quarter of a cup of coffee in it.
I know, I was enjoying it. Thanks, Ross.
He's crazy. Okay, Kat, do you think your love language has changed over the years, or has it stayed the same?
I think it's always been the same from being a little child. Like, even like from, like I'm saying, having the personal time with my mother and that quality time of being seen by her, that has never went away. But since I neglected to fill my love tank when I was growing up and becoming a teenager, because teenagers and children need to be loved in different ways, same love language, different dialect. As I grew older, I neglected what I really needed to fill my own personal love tank up. And so that caused me for wanting to get affirmation and approval from outside, where I it wasn't even for the things that I am or do. It was just for praise and all the wrong things. And But now it's still acts of or quality time for me, because I mean, that's where the relationships are formed, and that's where the deep conversations happen, and that's where the healing happens, and that's where you create the memories. That's where the good stuff is, because now that you're fixing yourself and everything, you got to create. You got space now for all the good stuff, and you get that through quality time. You create those memories. So I think mine is still the same.
All right. Well, I will answer that. And I think that mine have probably been the same, but I didn't feel worthy of love. And so for me, I have like a wall up, and I still have to work on these things. If you give me a compliment and you say I'm smart, I will downplay that, because I'm not going to say I don't see that in myself, but I've had a hard time struggling with my intelligence. I've had a hard time feeling loved. So when you try to give me love, if you give me a gift, or in the past have given me a gift, I feel like I need to reciprocate that with a gift or something back, because nothing is free, right? So, I mean, I've always been like almost tit for tat. Like, why would you do something nice for me just out of the kindness of your heart? Like, I'm just not used to being loved like that,
Yeah.
And God has really showed up in my life, especially the past 2 years, and has just like poured blessings out upon me to where it's really kind of like, wow, I didn't expect that. I didn't deserve that, but He's revealed to me none of us deserve any of it, but I am loved and I am accepting of good things. And so I'm trying to work through allowing other people to bless me. And it was like we talked about on episode 1, like, don't block a blessing. And so I'm really trying to work through how it makes me feel when I'm able to do something nice for someone else, to also remember that other people are able to feel good when they are able to do something nice for me.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm working through that. I feel like mine have probably been the same, but I'm just now really able to weave myself in through just being loved, even though I feel like I've always tried to give love. There's always room for improvement on that. But I truly love people and want them to feel loved. And I've realized I'm codependent. So it means more, or it has meant more to me, because I'm working on that too, to please other people. And sometimes I've done it with motive, and so I have to make sure too, when I'm loving on someone else, that it's out of the goodness of my heart and it's from a loving place, and it's not because I gave you this, now I'm expecting that. Hello, is that God on the line? Hello. Sorry guys, but yeah, it's been something to walk through, and I'm just so glad that God continues to open the eyes of my heart to see other people with His eyes, and to be able to even see myself with the same eyes that He sees me with. So
that's the key, because you'll realize one day how precious you really are. That's what I heard today. I heard a thing today. It's like, you walk in, like, all that talk, that self-talk that you talk to yourself, that you're not good enough, or you'll never level up, or anything like that. You go into a newborn nursery, and you go in there and you tell any one of those babies that they're not worthy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you too. #also you.
Also you. Yeah. I mean,
right?
you're
so precious. Yes. And God has such a purpose for you that you wouldn't, if you knew how He saw you, you would never talk like that to yourself ever again.
That's a very good illustration. Yeah. I think of myself as a little baby in the nursery.
I'm always learning and learning. I'm a newborn.
Oh my goodness. We are newborns though,
Yes.
Okay. So do you have a few other questions? Did you have some fun ones? Was that your fun one?
I know, not so much fun, was it?
Okay. Yeah, it does say fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. We will I'll just kind of go off script a little bit because we still have a little bit of time.
Yeah, we can talk about anything.
So what is the big thing or the one memory of an act of love that Anthony has done for you, a memory over the past 20 something years that really stands out to you? Like, what is that? It could be like a date, or did he do something? Has he done something really special that just kind of stands out? And this is like, that's my special moment.
Anthony's done a lot of special things for me. I'm going to say one time he took the effort and had a short, a novel wrote up, a fantasy novel wrote up about us. No, that's no good. I don't like this question.
We need to hear more about this novel.
I know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's hard because it's been 26 years.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of sweet things for me. He does.
Well, it doesn't have to be big. I mean, I'm just like, so is it like a picnic that he prepared, or something thoughtful? Like, was it a ring that he bought or something like that? And it is a hard question because I'm sitting here as... Okay.
Just the other day, it is an awkward question because there's a lot of really small gestures that he does that really are super romantic and very thoughtful and kind. So the other day we were having dinner, and he knows that sometimes I have a sweet tooth and stuff like that. And the other day I got up and he knew I was getting ready to go to the kitchen and look for a cookie or something, whatever I could find, which I didn't have anything because I've got it. The new year, new you. But he said, yeah, I need you to go into my pocket and I need you to go in there and get me that thing. I went and got something at the store. I need you to get it for me. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I reach in there and it's one of those big dark chocolate bars.
Oh.
But he already knew.
Oh, that was so sweet.
He knows.
Yeah.
You know, like he always does the little things. Like he knows to do something or does something for me before I even ask for it. You know, like he builds a studio prop for me, or he'll
he's like a follow-through kind of guy. Like he hears and then he backs it up with actions.
Yeah, so and if you want to think about it, in a way it's kind of like gift giving.
Yeah. And it's with an act of service,
yeah,
which is your love.
Yes.
Your love language. So that's really awesome.
Yes.
Like he hears you and then he puts it into action and makes it happen. Yeah. So he's building dreams.
Yes.
Yes. I love it.
Still need to get my flower patch though. He's been talking about that one for years.
It is too cold. Maybe this summer.
I'm going to push him. I'm just kidding. I'm not ungrateful though. I just know that, we forget about that kind of stuff.
I think for me that looks like coffee in bed. Because the first thing I do when I wake up is I want to have a cup of coffee. Mm. So if Eric can beat me up out of the bed with a cup of coffee in hand, that is definitely like...
Does he do it for you?
He does sometimes. It's not very often. So whenever it happens, and I used to be picky and hard to love, because you put the wrong sugar in it, because I'm particular about what I eat or particular about what I drink. And I've had to learn to let some of that go and allow some love to come in, because I'm like, oh, you did an act of service, but you still didn't do it right.
Yeah, it's like, that's how I used to be.
Who wants to love me?
I know. It's like, can you just do it right? It's not a gift if you don't do it right.
Yes.
I know, but that's not the whole.
Yes, I have been, hard to love. And he has left cards in my car. So when I go get in the car, there'll be a card in the car.
That's
and
sweet.
So, with like a note or something. And we used to leave Post-its for each other, like just in weird places. Like I'd open a cabinet and a Post-its on the salt or something,
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
sweet.
So I have like a collection of Post-its too, because I didn't want to throw them away.
No, don't
Yeah.
ever.
So I have like a Post-it collection of, have a good day, or I love you, or, something like that. And maybe I can start reiterating the Post-its and start putting like acts of, what is it? Language, where we validate. What's that one?
Communication.
Picking him up.
Affirmation.
Affirmations. Yes. I can start doing words of affirmation, because I think sometimes it's really hard for me to receive affirmations. So it's also, I give compliments, but I'm not just always like looking to tell him.
I want you to try something this week, and then we'll discuss it next week on the podcast.
I got homework. Okay, you guys want homework? Kat's going to give us homework.
I'm going to give you homework.
Okay.
We're just going to do a week of words of affirmation to our spouse. We're not going to let them know what we're doing. One word of affirmation a day, and it's got to be different for each day of the week.
Okay.
So it can't be the same one. Oh, you're so handsome.
Okay.
Oh, you really did a good job, today with the grandkids. I really appreciate you. You can tell they really love you. Stuff like that. Or, I love you. Thank you so much for being my husband. A nice hug. Don't expect anything back, and do it.
Yes.
And just kind of note and see their behavior.
Yeah.
But don't say it and then look at them. Just walk away. Just walk away like it's a normal thing, like a high five in the kitchen.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to do it, and I will write them down so I can share.
Yes, I'm excited. I want to see if
and
words
you do
of
it too.
affirmation. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see if words of affirmation is Eric's love language, because I did it with Anthony, and today I left him a Post-it on his mirror this morning.
Oh, okay.
And it said, thank you for being my dream, and then I love you.
Oh.
So, and yesterday I put a Post-it on the coffee pot with the coffee and everything ready, just to hit the start button, and it just said, I love you, or good morning, So I'm day 2 in it, but he's like, I feel like because I got a coffee. He brought me home a coffee yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like,
you weren't expecting me.
I mean, that was fast.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting it, but I feel like affirmation with Anthony's is
definitely
his love language.
It helped fill his tank to where he wanted to fill your tank.
Yes.
So after service, he went and got you a coffee, and also that was a gift.
Yes. So my conclusion to this is, if you could just let go of yourself, your ego, and put it to the side, and just do the act of service for them for the week, or 2, might take 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Depends on how, disconnected you guys are. And just don't expect anything in return, and just see how it goes. I bet you're going to see life change, because when it's fed back and forth, it seems like it's just effortless,
I love it. And we can never outlove God, right?
Right.
So
I love being in a place of love and peace. It's so wonderful here.
It is.
And I've had a taste. Now I can't go back.
I know. It is. But it is so worth it. The sacrifices are so worth it. That inner peace is just, it's what I honestly long for more than anything else in life these days. And I feel like once I started searching for things that weren't things, like feelings, like the peace, the love, and those things, was when God really opened up the door for blessings on me. Yeah. And so we also have to kind of remember that the less of us there is, makes more room for him in us.
Yes.
So,
and I love taking ourselves out of it, because that really helps, because then you don't have to worry about yourself anymore. It's and that's so easy, taking yourself out of there. I was like, what does that even mean? Before, this used to be all foreign to me and in just a different language, but it's just I'm concerned about my friend Amy, and I want to know how to love her today. And who else can I love today? How about my husband and my kids? And so when I'm constantly thinking about how to love and how to work, my creativity is sparked. My heart is full, and it just lets me go. So I don't even care anymore about the
Well, and when we start thinking of others, that helps us heal in our recovery too.
Yeah.
And it also allows us to serve. We're serving others through those acts of love.
It's so tricky how it tricked me.
Yeah.
I feel tricked. But like I say, you get a taste and it's over.
Yeah.
It's you got to have more.
So I would just like to take a second and let you viewers know, you listeners, know that we would love to hear what your love languages are in the comments. We would love to have interaction with you guys. So please leave us a comment below. And if you have topics that you would like for us to talk about, we would love to talk it out loud. Oh, talk on the wild side? We're going to talk it out loud on the wild side?
Talk on the Wild Side is doing a podcast next week on gyms.
Yeah, we're going to go
ahead about that.
And talk about gym-timidation.
Woo! Yes, we've all been there. We know what that is.
So Kat and I mean, I like to think we're gym enthusiasts, but I mean, we're not like on any kind of show level like enthusiasts. We're dedicated though.
Committed for sure.
Yeah, we're committed and dedicated. And it's been a journey for me, and I'm sure as you as well. Because yeah. And so we just want to kind of talk about that as we're also healing our inside wounds, healing and recovering from addiction, hurts, and habits and hangups. You know, the gym is a great outlet for a lot of those things. And we also physically sometimes need to heal and help our bodies. And so we're just going to kind of dive in to a physical and mental place of working out. Rather it's in the gym, but I'm going to specifically talk a little bit about the gym. I have Invisalign and I have stoppers that they have put. And so now I have a lisp. It's a lot of fun.
That's okay.
I'm country with a lisp now. So, but yeah, we thank you guys so much for joining in today. We like to try to keep this about an hour long, and we would love to hear from you. Be sure to share us out with your friends, or just talk on the wild side to them about all the things, and bring them here with us, because the more the merrier.
Yes, we're so excited. We're so excited that you're here with us and that you're like on the journey with us. And we're so excited to get to know you and hear your stories and get through this life together.
That is so true. We are here to hopefully help you guys in your healing process as well. And Kat just celebrated, what day are we on?
145 days.
145. I am so proud of you. And if anybody else out there is celebrating a day of sobriety, like even if it's one day, we celebrate that with you as well.
Yes.
And so keep it up.
And Amy, you were about to celebrate what? 3 years?
3 years of no nicotine. And what's crazy is I was a smoker I did the math the other day. It was 8 years. Okay. And then I quit after 8 years of smoking for back surgery. And then there was this big time gap, of 8 or 9 years, I didn't smoke anything. And then these vape pens came out. And so I smoked vapes I was a vapor for 8 years.
Oh my God.
I know, because when I get an addiction, I am committed to it. So, yes. And back when I first started, you could get a 22 nicotine. Now I think the highest you can get is, I don't even know, I think it's a 9, but they kept pulling it back. And so of course I was at the highest of the levels, but yeah. So we one day maybe we can just kind of talk about our walk through addiction a little bit and what that looks like too. So
yeah, that'd probably be a 2-part series, because there's so much about addiction and what goes on and how it gets its hooks in you and you don't even know, and how it lies to you.
Yes.
So it's you got to really find the strength from in to quit something.
Yes. And it's said the devil is a liar, and addiction is not of God. And I love that visual that you have about a claw being wrapped, because man, I've been under that grip for so many years, and it affects so many people. And if it doesn't affect you personally, someone in your family's probably been affected by it. So we are definitely going to put that on our coming soon list of things to do. So with that all being said, We thank you guys so much for joining us again today. We love you guys.
Yes, we love you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will see you guys next time on a Talk on the Wild Side. Bye.
Bye-bye.